Petey sauntered up to Dirty Red. The gangster flinched as Petey grabbed his hand, then pried Red's fingers from around the nickel-plated .357 revolver. Petey hefted the gun. Should be 3 more rounds in it. 2 more than I need. Thank you, brother. Petey ambled toward the door, wet stains forming where the bullet struck him. Something ran from his scalp, too, but he didn't have time to check. He turned back around to see Dirty Red still frozen in place, eyes locked on him, teeth chattering. Looked like I scared the piss out of him. Petey's laugh echoed in the juke joint as he walked out the door. He was stumbling down the steps when Xavier pulled up, slammed on the brakes, then jumped out the car to let Petey in. He shoved Petey inside the car, scurried back to the driver's side, and sped off. I heard shooting, Xavier said. He glanced at the gun in Petey's hand and looked forward. You shoot him? No, he shot me 3 times. So you really is dead. And you really are stupid. Where we going now? To Lucy's. Xavier swerved into a right turn, throwing Petey into the driver's side of the window. He slammed on the brakes and Petey bounced off the back of the front seat. Man, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Xavier shouted back. Bad enough that you ain't dead and come to hunt me. Now you want to get Lucy too? Just drive, Z. No, Z said. I ain't letting nothing happen to Lucy. Petey blacked out for a second. His time was drifting away. I ain't gonna hurt Lucy, Petey replied. I'm trying to save her life. Xavier turned around. What? Lucy's old man has been beating her, Petey said. She came to work one day all bruised up. It's been happening for a while now, but I figured it was none of my business. But this time it was bad. Real bad. I told her I'd fix things, but she told me it was okay. But it wasn't. So I took it on myself to set things straight. Showed up at his job on the docks and told him if he hit Lucy one more time, he was going to end up looking worse than her. He called himself pushing up on me, so I gave him a preview. I thought that was the end of it, but I underestimated him. Petey turned his head around and showed Xavier the dent in his skull. That wasn't no accident, he said. Son of a bitch broke into my house and was waiting for me. Busted my skull when I got to the top of the stairs. I guess he figured folks would think I fell. He was right. Petey checked the .357 again. Now it's payback time. The smile faded from Xavier's face. Damn right it is. Petey didn't have to tell Xavier how to get to Lucy's crib. He'd driven her home from work a few times. He parked his car far enough away not to be noticed, but close enough to see. An hour passed before the front door opened and Lucy emerged, followed by her old man. They got into her Malibu, then drove away. Let's go, Petey said. Xavier drove by the house, then parked. He got out of the car and then snuck to the back. A few minutes later, he opened the front door. Petey dragged himself out the Galaxy, then trudged inside. Get that chair and set it over there, Petey said. Xavier moved the chair directly in front of the door. Now go. You sure? Xavier asked. You don't look so good. Xavier laughed and went into a fit of coughing. Black ichor seeped from his mouth. Go on back, he said. I got this. Xavier locked the front door, then exited out the back. Petey sat in the chair, put the .357 on his lap, then waited. It was dark when he heard keys jangling. The front door opened and 2 figures entered. One reached for the lamp near the door, then switched it on. Surprise, Petey slurred. Lucy looked at Petey and then screamed. Her old man pushed her aside and drew a pistol from his pocket. He didn't hesitate. The small caliber weapon barked 3 times, each bullet hitting Petey square in the chest. Petey gazed at the holes in the dark liquid oozing from his torso. He looked up and grinned. My turn. Petey blasted Lucy's old man with the .357. 2 rounds hit him in the mouth, the 3rd in his forehead. The man was dead before he hit the ground. Petey struggled to stand, then walked stiffly to the door. Lucy had screamed herself hoarse. Her terrified eyes locked on Petey. I must look a mess, Petey said. But you safe now. I always keep my promises. Petey left the house. Xavier met him halfway down the driveway. He grabbed Petey's arm and pulled him along. We gotta go, he said. They were almost to the car when something told Petey to turn around. Lucy stood in the doorway. The fear in her eyes was gone, replaced by confusion. Petey? She said. Petey nodded, then climbed into the car. Where to? Xavier asked. The cemetery, Petey replied. Xavier sped back to the graveyard. Petey got out the car and stumbled back to his gravesite. He was tired. So tired. He sat on the edge of the open hole. You want me to wait to cover you back up when you're gone? Xavier asked. No, Petey replied. Let them find me just like this. Folks are going to be looking for who killed Lucy's old man. Those who know what he was doing to her are going to think she did it. We can't let them think that, Xavier said. No, we can't, Petey replied. That's why I want you to go back and tell them the truth. Xavier looked confused. Tell them what? Petey grinned and a tooth fell out of his mouth. You tell them Petey came back. Happy Halloween. Y'all take care. Peace.